All right, we are green. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix both of those things together. This episode is dedicated to the top fails of 2024 for the ATF. We've got everything. Disassembling and assembling Glocks, a cult classic. We've got ATF Director Steve Detterbach getting grilled in Congress. We've got embarrassing speeches. We've got it all, and it's all done live for your enjoyment to wrap up this year. Everything's always linked. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. If you want to send 2024 in with freedom for everyone, make sure you do that. All right, guys, let's make sure we got audio, we got video. Everything's 5x5. Excuse me. Struggling with a little bit of a head cold. Everything's 5x5. And as you guys filter in here, we're going to jump right in to the Steve Dettelbach. And in light of his apparent rumored resignation, what would be kinder than for us to highlight his fails? I mean, it would just be so sweet. All right, we are 5x5, audio and video. That is excellent. If you guys are just now getting in here, make sure you are sending this out. Make sure you're sharing the love with everybody that you know, because we have got some stuff to talk about. Katie, particularly call out for her. She put all this together over the last 2 weeks. Everything. Timestamps, actual links, all of it. She put some work in, and I hope you guys enjoy it. All right. So the first thing, as we get going, let's talk about Steve. Now, Steve, this is when he was talking about combating gun violence in America, and it would not be a good fail compilation if we did not open up with extreme lying by the lead of the ATF. Check this out. Oh, it's only getting started, people.
I mean, law enforcement is working together better than ever to tackle this problem. I mean, our country as a whole. My two reasons that I think we're kind of stuck in this place together.
Why?
First, I think when it comes to gun crime, the temperature in this country is way, way, way too high on all sides. There is just so much mistrust that we can't get even the easy things done, things of which we already have broad consensus, like universal background checks.
Skirt! Okay, we do not have broad consensus on universal background checks. Nope, no we don't. Lie. Big fat fibber. All right, now the other thing about this with Steve, talking about the temperature is just way too high. I can't imagine why the temperature would be way too high talking to the guy with matches and gasoline. Hey, let's make an executive rule and abuse the Second Amendment rights of the entire population, just ad hoc, willy-nilly, because Biden wanted it. Well, the temperature's way too high, guys. Way too high. God almighty. Oh, and we're just getting started. Look at all those tabs I have open. We're going to have so much fun.
And misinformation and misimpression feeds that distrust.
No, does it?
People can and do have reasonable differences over the causes of gun violence. But we have to try and debate the issues and not attack each other's character. So on one side, the notion that some people say, law-abiding gun owners somehow support this violence makes no sense.
Uh-oh, lefties.
Found it not to be true.
Did you?
But on the other hand, it also defies common sense to think that people's Second Amendment rights are in danger somehow. That
What? Oh, hold on.
anybody is going to take them away.
Oh, okay. Literally, the Democrats' platform is taking them away. It is literally banning ARs. It is literally taxing ARs for a consumption excise tax. It is literally universal background checks. This is not hyperbole. This is actually written statement in the party platform. But the idea that you would even think that someone would want to take away your guns and your rights, it's just crazy. They think we're stupid. Anyway, that's just the beginning. It was broad consensus for the universal background checks people, but now let's go over to Congress and let's check in on that and see how this is going. Oh, this is gonna be the best supercut ever. Let's go. This one is from May. Again, we did the entire year, so big props to Katie.
Firearms for the enhancement of a personal collection or for a hobby, or who sell all or part of their personal collection of firearms are exempt from this 22 Act modification, and yet what we see
For those activities.
right for those activities. All right, well, let's
They're
talk
doing
about
a
whether
whole bunch of
personal
other
collection-
things.
Right? Do you believe that a personal collection of firearms can be for self-defense?
So I think, again, the provisions of the rules speak for itself. And in this format, it's hard to get into a deep debate on this. We also have filed significant legal papers in courts that are hearing this. And because it's pending litigation, nothing I say can or should contradict any of those things. The rule sets forth conduct-based factors which under the totality of circumstances, right, could give rise to somebody being engaged in the business or not.
I'm
and
glad
it gives
you said-
examples. It gives
I'm
examples.
glad you said conduct.
They got
because
examples.
Where did Congress make it a crime to merely intend to earn a profit off of selling a privately owned firearm? Because that's what you're attempting to.
There clearly is an intent element of this statute that Congress
solely
wrote.
intent? There's no action?
Again, as in
Solely intent, but with no action. This guy is, someone just said skeevy. Great word. Good job. This guy is one of the slimiest, at the same time, one of the dopiest bureaucrats I've ever seen. I'm not going to tell you the answer, but I'm also going to infringe. I'm going to talk out of both sides of my face, but I'm also not going to do. This guy makes Merrick Garland look like I don't know, Brad Pitt. Whatever. This guy is a big joke. But we got a super chat I've got to hit because this is a live, and you know how we do lives. If SCOTUS strikes down AW ban and mag bans, what angle will anti-gunners try next, like sensitive places after Bruin? So that question from Drew in Reno is basically around what are they going to do next once AW bans and mag bans get smoked. My gut is they're going to push red flag laws really, really hard. My gut is they're going to continue to do sensitive places. And then the follow-up to that would probably be the universal background checks, and that's probably where they would go. Those are probably the top three. If AWBs fell. But anyway, that's my thought. Forrest Green says, does he get a golden parachute? God, I hope not. Oh, I hope not. I hope he gets no parachute. I hope it's like Wile E. Coyote and he jumps out of his job and he's like, and he's got like an Acme like little handle and it falls and he makes a little Steve Dettelbach imprint on the ground. Politically, not personally. Sure, he's a lovely person at a cocktail party. All right, let's keep going though, because now even more lies. God, Katie did such a good job on this. Let's keep going.
look at the wall.
Look at the wall.
On it are students and professionals, law enforcement and civilians, rural, urban, old, young, the young.
The young.
Too many children.
All of them.
I certainly don't need to tell the people in this room that the leading cause of death for children in our country is guns.
Lie. No, it's not. Big fat lie. Big fat lie. In fact, what he's referencing is data that is showing teenagers who are killing each other in inner cities in gang violence, in actual altercations, and they're passing it off as children because they're under 18. A vast majority of the actual data that he's citing is from 16 years old all the way to 19 years old. Just so you guys know, big fat liar pants. All right, let's keep going now.
Not car crashes, not cancer. Firearms.
Lie.
This wall demonstrates the tragic human toll of that statistic. Just look at the faces behind me. See them. See, for instance,
Okay, we get it. He's going to go on the individuals. But that's a big thing of this year, 2024. A big lie of this year was the number one killer of children was guns. Big fat false. All right, let's keep going. We've got so much more to uncover. Now we're going to go into the Judiciary Committee about Brian Malinowski. He's about to get raked over the coals on this one, which is ironic because they just did it again with Mark Manley in Baltimore in November. But now let's talk about this. This happened in May.
Last remaining seconds, I want to show you a video of something that you said on 60 Minutes.
Get it?
And we depend on firearms dealers, many of whom are our first line of defense, who will pick up the phone and help us.
I love Thomas
and
Massey.
try to interdict this. And for those who aren't doing that, I hope and expect that as Americans, we will all do that. But to those who aren't, somebody comes into your store in a border state and plunks down $12,000 cash money
For a
for
Barrett
one of
50
these
cal.
things. So that there's no credit card trail. My word. We hope that people will help us as Americans and continue to help us and not make that sale.
Okay, that's
and
Are you aware that it's illegal for you to create a registry of gun owners in the United States?
I am.
And are you insinuating here that somebody can't buy a firearm with cash?
No.
So why should a dealer call you if somebody's going through a background check and tell you that somebody is using cash?
We run a program called Don't Lie for the Other Guy, along with the National Shooting Sports Foundation.
So
Okay, time out real quick. Now, keep in mind, what he just said on that 60 Minute or the CBS report or whatever it was, He just said you can plump down $12,000 cash money for a Barrett 50 cal and circumvent the background check system, which, by the way, you can't do because the ATF would revoke your license. So that's a big fat lie. But the other thing about this is he just said, no, I can't have a registry. ATF, it's against the law. And then Massey's raking him over the coals on this one, and I love to see it. This was a great one. Let's keep going. Sorry.
And there are
Mike.
indicia of straw purchasing matters where there are warning signs where people can contact us. And firearms dealers who are law-abiding business owners, and the majority are, I want to say that again here, they frequently contact us, especially on the southwest border, because cartels are using straw purchases to arm themselves with the kind of weaponry that results in death and destruction and the danger to Americans and law enforcement.
We're concerned because banks are keeping these records and giving them to the government without a legal process.
Get it?
I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chairman,
All right. Keep in mind that what he's talking about is something called straw purchases, which is where a felon can't buy a gun, so they pay somebody else to buy the gun with a clean record. Okay? It's that simple. You just circumvent the entire process because gun laws don't work because criminal's going to criminal. So when you have this felon pay this person to buy the gun and they have a clean background and they give them the gun over here, that's circumventing the existing gun law. So what's Steve Dettelbach saying here is, well, the felons are breaking the laws already, so that's why it's a big problem. And the FFLs, most of them are law-abiding. That's why we try to put more out of business. Yeah, more ever than on record under the Biden administration, by the way. Guys, it's so easy. It's like, I can't. Thomas Massey, good job. And now, guys, a cult classic. This is so great. Who wants to watch a ATF leader try to disassemble a Glock again? Let's do it. You guys remember this?
The pistols and the Glock switch.
So again, you have your manufactured item, your GCA item that people can go into the store and purchase legally, complete the background check.
Disassemble it.
And
do it.
That's this item here.
That's a Glock. Do it. Oh, you got this. Flagged yourself in the barrel. Good job. Oh, disassembly switch. That was a broken one.
It's a normal lawful pistol.
Lawful pistol covered under GCA, background checks required. This
Doesn't disassemble though. It's
is
weird. Closed it. Okay, slide nice.
privately made firearm.
Flagged your hands.
You can see here on the on the
Slide
front where
lock.
the serial number.
Flagged yourself
it is.
again.
There's no serial numbers on it.
Oh my God.
This, it says Austria. I mean, this feels metal and heavy and significant. This doesn't feel like something that came off a 3D printer.
Correct. So
It's because the slide is
this was manufactured, and then
Do it.
the end user can take it with about 20 minutes of time and convert it or make it into a working
disassemble that?
firearm frame.
Okay.
And then buy the additional parts to put on the to create the upper.
Yeah.
And then they also installed a Glock switch.
Felony
So that one,
NFA.
so this last part here, that's really important what Chris just said. So this isn't just a ghost gun. This is a ghost gun.
Super duper
with
ghost gun.
one of these.
This is a
attached.
demon-possessed ghost gun.
To operate, this is a fully automatic pistol. So it will, you'll pull the trigger once, and it will keep firing until there are no more bullets. And you can put, again, a normal magazine
Oh,
on there.
this
You can
guy's
put a
so
larger
good. I
magazine
love
on
it
there,
so much.
And you can shoot out that magazine, no matter how big it is, just with one pull of the trigger in fractions of a second.
Fractions of a second.
I'm Dr. Swartz.
All right, so that was a good one. Can't assemble that or disassemble that. Always a cult classic, guys. This is gonna be a great supercut. All right, so now let's keep on going. We got even more stuff. This one's about registries, where he gets raked over the coals by Harriet Hegman from Montana, I believe Montana. Pretty sure it's Montana. Let's go.
A December 2021 ATF memo alerted the American people that the ATF was maintaining a digital, searchable, centralized registry of guns and gun owners
Get it?
in violation of various federal
Wyoming,
prohibitions
not Montana.
and contrary to what you testified to under oath today. In response, Representative Michael Cloud and 52 House members sent the ATF a letter dated November 22nd, 2021. ATF responded to that letter stating that it had 920,664,765 records, 865,787 and 86,000 of which are in a digitalized format, which Gun Owners of America has proved to be searchable. This was discovered shortly after ATF was revealed to have processed over 54 million records in a single year. What is the latest record count for ATF's illegal digital
Get it?
searchable national gun registry?
Zero. We obey the law. We
According
do
to your
not,
letter,
on none of our
according to
records.
your letter, you have over 865 millions of these records are in digitalized format. You have admitted it.
Get it? You have 865 million digitized records. We don't have a database. Wait, what? You have 865 million. You said you do. No, we don't. We have zero. Okay, well, let's just see what he says here.
Respectfully, we are, I think ATF is the only customer of Adobe Acrobat that
Well, let's
pays money
get
to
into that.
remove search function.
Before the
to remo-
Commerce, Justice, Science,
Okay, so that's the argument. We may have 865 million of your purchase records. Of course, who doesn't? But it's not in a database because we pay Adobe not to be able to search it. It's not like Windows, Mac, Linux, all the operating systems have Command F function. I mean, that would be a database. We don't have that. We just have a collection of digitized files. Okay, let's keep going. We got even more. Oh, this is a good one. Guys, this is an oldie but a goodie. We're talking to Harvard right now. These are Harvard students that Steve Dettelbach is going to be talking to. This is how you truly explain the crisis to the nation's top educated students. Or at least what they say. All right, let's dive in. I'm sure he has a very elaborate explanation.
So I really can't, and don't try to explain why it's our job. We take the laws as Congress passes them and we follow them. And Congress has said that we're not allowed to have a national gun registry, and Congress has said that we're not allowed to have certain types of searchable databases, right? And we follow those rules meticulously, because in our constitutional form of government, when there's a law passed, you follow it, right? That's our fundamental norm. We can never stray from that as a country, right? The rule of law, the idea that whether you agree or disagree with something that is in the law, you follow it. I can tell you, though, that what that means from a functional standpoint is when you go to, so first of all, we don't get any of the records from
Here we go.
firearms dealers that are currently in business.
Really?
Every time we get a trace, we have to contact them, right? And they have to respond to us.
Oh, well,
And we only get to that first retail sale. There's not records oftentimes for subsequent transfers, private transfers of firearms.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. I thought he just said there was no data on that. And they don't get those from FFLs. So why is he saying there's only data on first purchase, but there's not data on secondary purchases, subsequent purchases? I tell you what, mysteries abound, don't they? It's almost like they have that same 865 million record not database because it's not searchable. So digitized collection, like baseball cards? Maybe that's what it is. But this guy, he's literally talking to Harvard students. Oh my God, let's keep going now.
And when they go out of business, they send us the records, and they send us the records many times in paper format. And they come in boxes and boxes. Millions a month of these records. And there are these people wonderful people who sit at our facility in
We call those ATF elves. ATF elves.
Martinsburg, West Virginia. And they sit at tables. And their job is to go through these boxes and boxes, an endless number of boxes, right? There's always more boxes.
Oceans.
Right? Millions of them, and take out the staples.
Take out the staple?
And if there's waterlogged ones,
Flatten them?
and take off the clips and separate them every day, all day, from 9 in the morning till 5 at night. That's their job. Not one or two, a whole group of people. That's what we have in terms of that's a good vision into the world that we have as a conscious choice for policy in the United States of America.
Oh my God, this might be my favorite. You guys let me know what you think of these clips as your favorite. This one might be my favorite. Boxes and boxes and just like waterlog them, and they got staples, and we pull them out, and we just air them out, and there's the ATF elves everywhere. Oh my goodness. That one might be my favorite. Oh, that one might be my favorite. I don't know. We're in a pretty high contender right here. Oh, let's go to Jim Jordan because he throws us over. I think this is Chip Roy or no Wesley Hunt. This is great. Oh goodness, I amuse myself.
Chairman,
We're almost done, sir. Thank you for being here for a second time. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Basic question, sir. You're an attorney, correct? It's my understanding.
Yes, I am, sir.
So I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, knowing that you understand the Constitution, including our Bill of Rights, correct?
I hope so, sir.
So what is your interpretation of our Second Amendment? Do you think that Americans have the right to bear arms? Yes or no? Just give me your brief overall view of it.
Yes, and I think what we do is we look to what the Supreme Court has decided on this. The Supreme Court, Congressman, is very, very clear on this. The law is, the Second Amendment jurisprudence is lengthy and changing, but as a lawyer, I don't get to decide that. The courts decide it, and the courts have said, yes, is the answer to your question.
Okay, so we have these Second Amendment rights because we know how important it is for us to maintain our constitutional republic and a functioning republic because, again, as a gun owner myself, as a lawful gun owner myself,
I love this guy.
It's very important to me to be able to protect my home and also prevent tyrannical governments from infringing on our rights as human beings bestowed to us in our Constitution.
Get it?
So it's my humble opinion, sir, that the ATF is certainly infringing on a lot of these rules for law-abiding citizens and infringing on our Second Amendment rights for law-abiding citizens. I'm not talking about trying to catch the bad guys that have guns. I am talking about implementing a level of pain on people like me that, quite frankly, was not bestowed to us via the Second Amendment. Unfortunately, as bureaucrats attempting to infringe on the Second Amendment rights, that some lawmakers in Congress, they see gun owner tragedies as an opportunity to slowly chip away at these rights. So recently, lawmakers used a heartbreaking Uvalde tragedy as an opportunity to pass red flag legislation. This is a fact.
Get it?
I remember a time where we were told that red flag laws were simply a conspiracy theory. I'm old enough to remember that. And they are not a conspiracy theory anymore, sir. Red flag laws are in bills and they are in Biden's executive orders. If you don't know what red flags are, in short, red flag laws are a type of pre-crime enforcement where courts grant orders allowing for the seizure of firearms from someone who hasn't committed an actual crime. When I think of red flag laws, I see the Safer Communities Act, which President Biden signed into law in 2022. The Safer Communities Act included $750 million in funding for states to implement and improve red flag laws. Again, that's going after the good guys, not the bad guys. But it had to stop there. It has not stopped there, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to give him a second because he just goes on a roll. This is Representative Wesley, I think it's Wesley Hunt. I'm pretty sure it's Wesley Hunt. It's Representative Hunt. $750 million in the Biden administration, or in the Bipartisan Safe Communities Act for red flag laws in states that don't have red flag laws. They're bribes. And then they enrich the other states that have red flag laws from the same thing. $750 million. Wesley Hunt is just getting going. Let's go. Red flag laws are the bane of my existence, by the way.
Biden in 2023 announced an executive order on gun control with the goal of, quote, increasing the effective use of red flag laws. Biden also opened the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, led by Kamala Harris, which has further encouraged and entrenched red flag laws across the nation. These are all facts.
Get it?
I'm still waiting for her to tell us what the root causes are of the border crisis, and you're going to try to tell me that Kamala Harris is going to tell us the root causes of gun violence. Good luck with that.
All right, enough of him. He's amazing. Oh, I love that guy. Representative Wesley Hunt. Very true. White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention, National Red Flag Law Center, created all from a sign to the pen from the executive agencies. Everything he just said, dead on. All right, now let's go over it. I think this is Chip Roy. It is indeed. We're wrapping up, guys. We got one more after this one. Let's get Chip Roy because he says some very important things as well. Oh, this is a good one.
I think as the director knows, I was a prosecutor under Project Safe Neighborhoods in the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Wesley Hunt's a
worked
pimp.
closely with ATF in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. I share your sentiment about the patriotic Americans serving ATF trying to stop violent criminals from moving drugs and using firearms against the law in ways that are undermining the safety and security of the American people. And I want to thank those men and women for what they do every day in that service. But would the director agree that there have been times where ATF have not gotten it right?
Right here.
I realize that with respect to the case we've already discussed with respect to Mr. Malinowski, that you're saying that's an investigation, but what about something like Fast and Furious?
Oh, of course, like any agency, there are times where we don't get things right and can improve.
So, a couple of questions.
Okay. Keep in mind, guys, he just said there's times we don't get it. We can get better. We can improve. Sometimes there's little additions, like we don't shoot people in the face when we raid their home at 6 a.m. and cover up cameras, full on raid gear. Like Brian Malinowski or Mark Manley, which he just did again in November. We can get it right, go. I mean, there's always room for improvement. Good Lord, what a freaking goober.
Question for you, along these lines. I think it's really important for the American people to understand. Do you, as the director of ATF, do you believe that the American people have a constitutional right, an individual right, to keep and bear arms?
The Supreme Court has made it clear, and yes. The Second Amendment has been interpreted numerous times by the Supreme Court, just as you. There's more to it, but yes, what you have said, yes.
Okay, and so, but you believe that you interpret the Constitution that way.
I interpret all the laws the way that the Supreme Court says they're to be interpreted, and when the Supreme Court speaks on something,
would you have said that about Plessy?
Talking about Plessy versus Ferguson, by the way.
I work for a law enforcement agency. I'm not a judge.
But
I
I'm just
accept
asking
the rulings of the court, including that one. I'm not dodging your question.
Do you, as the director of ATF, believe there is an individual constitutional right to bear arms?
Yes, there is one. The Supreme Court has said it.
Along those lines, do you, as the director of ATF, believe that the federal government should maintain a registry or otherwise track, catalog, keep records of the transactions of firearms conducted by the American people, such that you would know what firearms I possess?
Good question, Salt.
Congress has explicitly forbidden ATF from keeping a registry, and we do not. Again, we obey the law. We don't make the law, we obey it.
Do you, as
Oh my God, guys, it's like the peeing on our heads and they're telling us it's raining. I mean, do you have catalogs? Do you have data collection? Do you have anything that shows firearm purchases? Do we have blah, blah, blah? Yeah, we have that. Well, is it searchable? No, so it's not a database, so we follow the law. Oh my God. I want to go back to a land where we're dealing with staples and flattening paper. All right, go to the next one, the last one. This one, this one's Matt Gaetz, because we got to end with Matt Gaetz. I mean, come on, he's like a firebrand. Let's go.
And so the ATF has a final rule. I think the comments and the rule itself accumulate to about 466 pages that define who is engaged in the business of firearms dealing. So how many firearms does someone have to sell to be engaged in the business of firearm dealing?
Congressman, as you know, that matter is being litigated in several courts. So sticking to what's already in the public record, the rule itself is 16 pages, skipping lines. And there's about, as you say, over 400 pages of explanation.
Yeah.
And so there are factors that are conduct-based, not numerical-based, but conduct-based. We received many comments. One of the comments that we received was from, I think, Senator Cornyn, who expressed the view that there was no numerical threshold. Others had a different view.
Yeah. In the House Judiciary Committee, we probably won't look to Senator Cornyn as the oracle of all things gun rights, but...
that's my favorite! Okay, so right there, that's a pretty good one. John Cornyn's probably not the oracle of all things gun rights, since he wrote the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Just saying that the ATF is taking advantage of and manipulating through this entire thing, through the engaged in business, through all the different pieces, red flag law, litigation, all these different pieces. Maybe the guy who wrote that, who gave the ATF the carte blanche to do that, maybe not the oracle of gun rights. So guys, what I've just gone through with you is what, my opinion, the top ATF and Steve Dettelbach moments of 2024. Which one was your favorite? Let me know right down there in the comments field. I'm really, really biased to the whole explanation of how staples work and flattening out paper and all the facial expressions with the ATF elves. I'm a big fan of that one, but I look forward to hearing what you guys think. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.